Hello, everyone. We are very glad to see you today at our webinar related to Jmix 2.7 release. Today we are all together as usual. My name is Victor. I'm the product manager of Jmix, and here today with me I see Gleb, the tech lead of the Jmix platform.
Hello.
And Konstantin, the head of engineering of the Jmix platform. Yeah. Please write in the chat of the YouTube whether you can see us well and hear us well, because I know that there have been some problems with Cloudflare today. And I wonder whether the signal is fine and whether you can see the stream well. Can we start with the content for today? Or maybe we should speak a bit until things will go fine. Thank you. Thank you for sending your feedback. While I'm waiting for information from you, I will define the rules of our webinars. Today, we'll speak about the new features, about the updates of Jmix. So you can write your questions in the YouTube chat at every moment you want. If the question will be quite simple and straightforward, we will put the answer immediately. If the question will be found complicated, we will announce this question at the end of our webinar and try to find the answer on this question with our experts today, with Gleb and with Konstantin. Yeah, and for sure, please push hearts or flames or put pluses in the chat if you want to mark the new feature of Jmix 2.7 as beloved, or the most, or the one which you've waited for. This will help us also to get the immediate feedback from you, whether how do you find, what is your attitude to our roadmap and what we actually built within Jmix. Yeah, and by the way, my first question to everyone who came today, did you have the test of Jmix 2.7? Do you have any experience already? And maybe you can even announce the most beloved feature. Yeah, this will be quite interesting before we go forward, because for sure we'll try to observe all the features in details with our experts today. Thank you very much in advance for your feedback. So yeah, I will wait for for mentioning the features in the chat. So let's start. I'm starting with a small presentation about general updates, and then I will pass the word to Gleb. Yeah, I hope that you can see my presentation. I have several slides for today about the general updates around Jmix. The first thing I want to share with you is the updated document, which is already placed in the Jmix blog. Its name is the Jmix Philosophy in AI Era. You may know that we've made an announcement in the beginning of the year that we are going to make researches around the AI implementation in Jmix ecosystem and find out how AI tools and AI agentic approach can bring more values to Jmix. And after all the job that we've performed this year, we've packed all the findings in the document. This document is placed in the blog of Jmix right now, and you can access it rapidly using the QR code, which I've placed on my slide. And there you will find out the revisited list of Jmix values and the general statements about what should we do in the AI, let's say, area, and what we shouldn't do. Yeah, so this will help you to navigate within our towards our further updates in Jmix and get a clearer vision about what do we find valuable in the Jmix within the AI code agents and the generative AI. And to make you unveil, to help you unveil a bit the content of this article, I've placed the top 5 priorities of this updated philosophy on the slide right now. And these are basically the top 5 areas where we see Jmix can benefit and bring, not benefit, but bring the most value to you in the era of AI-assisted development. The first one is related to the Jmix architecture itself. We found out that using Jmix Blank project with code agents helps to build robust applications from stage 0. Due to the fact that Jmix has a very good, has a nicely defined architecture structured by Maven archetypes and packages. And what should I mention also, when you initialize the Jmix project, you have some stubs and templates of classes, of views, of menus. So we found out that this helps AI agents to proceed with the AI-assisted development very fast and build a robust architecture of your solution, because Jmix performs as a guardrails. Yeah, so it allows to make your path towards getting to the MVP or the first version of your application in a robust, straightforward way. The second thing is, we call it interoperability. Maybe you've heard about this from other products which we also deliver, such as OpenBPM, which we've announced this year earlier. This means that we do not want to invest in reinventing the AI tools, but we want to bring the most value out of it with all their updates to developers. So that means that we want to make Jmix fully compatible, or to keep it fully compatible, because it is already compatible with the IDE functionalities in the AI area and with the new upcoming code agents from first of all, Claude, and other stuff, which is quite popular in the coding area. So we do not want to bring something new there, but we want to keep it as most interoperable as we can. Yeah? So this is what we will focus on. The third thing is unification or standardization. You may know that the structure, the precise structure of the Jmix project helps different people access the Jmix project and understand easily in a very short term what happens there in the project. So people can really define where are the entities, where is the business logic, where are the views, what are they doing. So it's very easy and explicit for even those who are newcomers to these enterprise projects. And we found out that it's absolutely the same with AI agents. So they do also understand the structure. They can modify the project within this structure in a very straightforward way. And what's most valuable are the people who will access this project later on. I mean, people, humans. they can also understand what's going on. So the Jmix structure, the Jmix unified structure, becomes the vocabulary for both the human and AIs to understand the project whenever you develop it with AI agent or by human or in parallel. Yeah. The fourth option, the fourth value of the Jmix philosophy is security. We still continue develop the security features of Jmix. And the core feature of server-side UI, which is based on Vaadin, continues to prove it as an enterprise-grade security feature. The latest updates from the Vaadin team about their results, the independent results of pen testing the Vaadin applications, show that Jmix is a dramatic hard stuff for breaking using hackers. Yeah, so with hackers. So this is a tough thing to be broken. What we should do in future is to build better tooling around this functionality and to keep connected to this technology stack to make you deliver a secure and governed applications. Yeah, so here is the fourth value of the Jmix philosophy for the future. And the fifth feature, the fifth, let's say, value is sustainability. We know that people worldwide are making applications with Jmix, and its former name was Cuba, for more than 9 years already. Next year, there will be the 10th anniversary of the Jmix as a technology. And we have the knowledge about, we don't have the knowledge about something similar in this area, some similar technologies in this area. Which provide the same sustainability for such a long term. So all these 10 years, we deliver the updates of the technology stack to the community. And even projects built with Cuba 6 and Cuba 7 are still running in production well. And this makes us think that we can continue deliver this value to make teams build products, not just prototypes, as they can do with pure vibe coding, but for years. And we know that things which are prepared and produced for the enterprise usage, they are not for several days. Yeah, they are for a long run. And Jmix is the thing which will allow to build those projects still, even with AI instruments for a long run, using its guardrails, using its interoperability, using unified design, and best of breed security and governance. So you can find more details in the article. I suggest you to go it through. It's quite short, and we try to do our best to make it as explicit as we can without complex statements. Okay, then, and finalizing the statement about the Jmix AI, we claim that Jmix helps every developer to move faster, but at the same time move safer. So without eliminating, meeting the pitfalls, especially architectural pitfalls, which you can meet easily using pure vibe coding in some technological stack area. The next announcement I want to share with you today is that Jmix team in 2025 successfully participated in Vaadin Create conference in Frankfurt. This event took place in October, and we had a very interesting demo session during this event. And I'm glad to share the link to the recording of this demo session via the QR code. So you can access and watch how we demonstrated the Jmix less code concept to the attendees of the conference and basically to the Vaadin community. This is really a remarkable event. This was a remarkable event for us because we started a real recognition of our technology from the Vaadin team. And next, we want to present the updates for the Jmix community coming from the Vaadin community. We are working on bringing several components, several premium components to the Jmix users. You can see the highlights of these components on my slide. I'm presenting them right now. We want to announce the availability of those components in a special subscription tier, which will be accessible only for premium Jmix users in February. We hope that we will have enough resources to deliver this option until February. But and if everything goes as expected, you will be able to access those components inside your projects and use them seamlessly within the Jmix Studio. So please watch our updates on this topic. And I think that January, February latest, we will send you information about this opportunity. And the last thing I want to share with you today is that we are strongly moving with meetups worldwide this year. We've performed several meetups in Central Asia, in Southern Asia. And if you are interested in bringing more experience to the local community who can be interested in Jmix values also, please approach our team. You can approach Alex Burov, or you can approach me via the LinkedIn, or you can write the email using the registration form on our website, and we'll help you to organize this meetup. This can really make your personal brand in the development environment, your local development environment, stronger, and attract new customers to the services or products you develop. That's all from my side, and I deliver the word to Gleb. Gleb, please share the updates about the Jmix UI features.
Thank you, Victor. And let's start with the probably most anticipated features in Jmix 2.x is grouping data grid. Group data grid is a grid component that supports grouping items by specific properties. The component includes group data grid column. Sorry, I forgot to share my screen. It supports group data grid column, which displays groupings and provides a toggler for each group. So, for example, like this. And by default, the column header shows a group icon that manages the grouping columns when clicked. So, for example, if I click on it, you can see that currently I'm grouping by the grade column, but I can add more columns to the grouping, either by clicking the plus button, for example, like this, or by using drag and drop functionality, like this. Okay. Speaking of the group icon, you can replace it with any custom icon, or hide it, or even disable clicks. For example, if you define grouping declaratively and do not want users to change it at runtime. So, for example, let me hide it. And if I disable clicks on it, when I click, it behaves like a regular header, just providing me with sorting functionality. And speaking of declarative grouping, inside the group data grid element, there is the group by element in which we can define by which columns we want to group our data by default. Okay. Group column and rows are also configurable. So, for example, using the display items count attribute, you can specify data to display the count of items in brackets for group rows. So by default, it's enabled. We can see how many items we have in each group, but I can disable it. Of course, you can provide formatter for this row, which allows you to define the text that should be visible for a group row. And also this formatter will be applied to the corresponding cells when exporting to Excel. And also you can provide a custom component for a group row in case you want not only text, but also, for example, icons or any other components. And for that purpose, you can use the corresponding renderer. Or you just can style it. For example, I have this checkbox to apply some styles, and you can, for example, change colors for each group. And of course, group data grid has specific events. For example, when grouping is changed or a group is collapsed or expanded and so on. So for example, let me enable events, and if I collapse or expand, I can see that every action has its own event. So let me make it clickable, change, for example, groups, and everything also visible, and clicks. And the last thing to mention is that the Grid Export add-on is also supports group data grid. For example, if I export current page to XML, XLSX, sorry, we will see that I have the same information as on my screen, I mean with groupings and so on. Okay. The next component I would like to show you is the user menu component. The user menu component displays a button that when clicked opens a drop-down menu containing a list of items. And this user menu component supports different item types. Let me show you that in the XML. So where is my user menu? It's here. So the first one is the action item, which creates a link between a user menu item and a specific action that should be executed when that item is clicked. And you can either define an action declaratively, like this, or use the ref attribute to point to the ID of already defined action. For example, here I reference to the already existing action in my main view. The next type is the component item. The component item allows you to define custom inner content for user menu item and also supports click event. So as you can see, I defined just a simple markup, and I can subscribe on the click event of this item. The next item is text item, which holds just text and an icon, and also supports clicks. So you can use it instead of component item if you just need text and icon. So instead of providing similar markup like I did here. The next one is the view item. This item allows you to open a specific view and define it either by class or by view ID. And optionally, you can provide open mode for this view. For example, you can open it as a dialog. And the last one is a separator, which is used to visually separate items in the drop-down menu. So if you open, so it's separator, it's my component item, it's my text item, this is view item, and this is actions items. Okay. Next thing here is that text item and component item elements support nested items, which allows you to define a hierarchical menu. So for example, here the help menu item contains two other items. And if we go to the component, we can see that it is a hierarchical menu. Also, framework provides flexibility in customizing the content of the button and the optional menu header like this. And for that purpose, you can set a button renderer and a header renderer. And last one thing here is framework provides predefined user menu actions. The first action is substitute user action, which depending on the number of substituted users, either opens a lookup view to select a substituted user or shows a submenu with a substituted users list, like here. And the second one is the theme switch action, which provides a submenu to switch theme variants, light, dark, and system. So, for example, like this. But note that this action requires an import of JavaScript file that provides code that applies a theme variant to an HTML document depending on the selected value. Okay, the next component, what I want to show you is the card component. This is a versatile container for grouping related content and actions with several customization options for layout and appearance. And key features of this component are that for multiple slots, which means flexible content placement with distinct slots for media, title, subtitle, header, footer, and more, and customizable appearance, which means extensive theming options for shadows, borders, and backgrounds. Let me show you. So let me disable everything. So no content, no theme variants. So it's just a container, as I was saying. And in simple case, it may contain title and subtitle, which are text. Optional content, you can add media to it. To make it look better, we can use predefined theme variants, for example, stretch media. But in order to avoid these big paddings, you can use also cover media. You can add footer with component contents, so custom markup. And instead of using title and subtitle, which are text, we can set custom markup using header, its prefix, and suffix slots. And the card component is best combined with the next component I want to present to you is grid layout component. The grid layout component is used to display components in a grid, as its name says, and it is based on the CSS grid module. Components can be added as nested elements in XML markup or programmatically, and like in any other container. And to customize the gap between elements and the minimum column width, you can use the gap and min column width properties. And these properties accept CSS values and variables, which means that you can use, for example, any CSS valid options like size in EM, in pixels, and even CSS variables like we can see on my view. For example, let me change this to 30 EM and this, for example, to 150 pixels, like this. And this is responsive. So you don't need to write any media CSS styles to watch screen size and stuff like that. You just define minimum column width. And if there's not enough space to show this column, it, well, reduces the amount of columns, like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Like this and like, let me raise my, like this. Okay, let me refresh to the better size. And as I was saying, as any other container, you can place components inside it in XML, so explicitly, or you can use the items container attribute to bind the grid layout component to data. And by default, when we do this, the entity's instance name will be used to render items in a grid layout container. But in order to change the appearance of each item, we can use the renderer, and using it, we can provide components that we use to render each individual item inside the grid layout component. And in addition to items container, also available items enum property to display enums. So that's probably all for the big new UI components in the Jmix 2.7. But of course, there are more features. But well, this is what we want to mention in this webinar. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So my part is about improvements in Studio, data repositories, and reports. And as usual, we'll also talk about our future plans. So let's first look at major improvements in Studio. Now, if you open Role Designer, Resource Role Designer, you will see all other roles available in this project. And you can add any role as a base for the current one. For example, if I add this UI minimal role as a base here, Studio will modify the source code. So my role interface will extend from UI minimal role. And if I switch to this specific policies tab, I will see that my role now gives specific permission, which comes from the UI minimal role. Of course, I cannot edit it here because it's inherited. Let's make a deeper hierarchy. So here in my HR manager role, I will add the employee role now as a base. And this role in turn inherits from the UI minimal. So now for HR manager role, I also have this login to UI specific permission. In the entities tab, you can see all permissions inherited from the base roles and given by this role. Inherited permissions are read-only, and red and green colors help to distinguish between allowed and denied permissions. The same is in user interface tab. Here, inherited permissions are in olive color and also read-only. And permissions given by this role can be edited as usual. So in general, we think that this new feature in the role designer will greatly simplify role management in complex security configurations. Because now with the current configuration for HR manager, for example, this role gives all necessary permissions, and you can assign only this single role to a user instead of the 3 roles one by one. Now let's take a look at the new reverse engineering feature. For example, we have this department entity. It's mapped to the department table. Let's look at the table. This is a PSQL running, so I will describe the department table. As you can see, we have these 4 columns. All of them are mapped to the entity attributes. And if I add a column here in the database, let it be just a simple text column. So now my table contains this info column, which is not mapped yet. And I can easily add an attribute to the entity for this column. So I will click this Add Attribute from DB button, and Studio will show me all mapped columns from this table. By the way, I can select any other table too. And it will suggest to create an attribute for the new column, which is not mapped yet, info in this case. So I will just click OK, and Studio creates this attribute. This new feature supports a database-first development approach, when you first define your data model in the database and then create corresponding entities and attributes in the project. The next set of new features is about data repositories. I will go to my test class. So first of all, the Jmix data repository interface now extends from list, paging, and sorting repository. It means that its find all methods return list instead of iterable. And list is usually much easier to use in your business logic, like this, for example. The next thing is the new find all slice method of Jmix data repository. You can use it for loading paginated results. And slice it's a Spring Data, standard Spring Data interface. It is a more lightweight version of page. It doesn't contain the total count of records. And this new method doesn't perform a separate count query to the database, which is good for performance. Jmix UI usually gets the total count on its own. So it's a good idea to always use find all slice method instead of find all in views, in list views at least. And another new feature of data repositories is the ability to load scalar and aggregate values. So for example, this method with this query returns a scalar value of single scalar value of a string type. If a query returns more than one column in a row, or more than one value in a row, the return type must be key value entity. And in this case, you should define an array of property names that will become entity attribute names in this key value entity. So here in my class, I use these methods. And in this key value entity, you can see that there are properties with name and user count names according to this array of property names. And finally, I should mention that data repositories are now easier to use in views. When you create a new entity, you can select this checkbox, create data repository. By the way, it remembers its state. So when you select it once, it will be selected for the next creation of consequent creation of entities. So be aware of it. So if I create a new entity, Studio will create also a corresponding data repository for it together with the entity. Now we just add an attribute as an example and generate the list and detail views. And now if an entity has a corresponding repository, it will be automatically selected for the view, for the generated view. So pay attention to this use data repositories checkbox and to the drop down with a list of available repositories for this entity. So now if I create the views, we can see that in the list view, there are a couple of new delegates. Load from repository delegate and total count by repository delegate. They have the list of parameters directly compatible with the list of parameters of the repository method. So you don't have to do any conversion between the delegate and the repository arguments. So now it's a minimalistic code here. You just call your repository methods. And by the way, this method should use slice. You find all slice method. We will fix this template in the next patch. So now let's discuss the last major feature introduced in release 2.7. It's the ability to define reports at design time. Here in my project, I already have the reports add-on included. And you can see this a new report section in Jmix tool window. Let's create a new report here. Wizard starts. Sample report. Let's keep the defaults. And Studio will generate a report code with some example. This example code may be a good starting point for developing your own reports. The report definition is actually a Java class with a lot of annotations. The report def annotation defines main report properties. Template def defines the template. And the set of band def annotations defines the report structure. And the band can contain data sets. A data set can be of type delegate, or it can be a query in the SQL or JPQL as runtime reports, the same. And here is an example of data set delegate method. It uses data manager to load data for this band. So if we start the application, do it now. Let's wait a few seconds. So we should see the report in our usual reports list. Yeah. Now it's ready. This is my list of reports, and we see this sample report that I just created. You can run it and see the result. So this sample code for report just displays the list of users and their roles. Report definitions are hot deployed. So if we go to source code and change, for example, the name, we can change the report logic in the delegate. It will be the same. So I change the name and I save, and Studio should hot deploy. Yeah, it displays this notification. I go back to the application, refresh the page, and I see my changes here. So design time reports have obvious advantages. They are stored in your version control system as source code. They are built into the application, so they are deployed with new versions of your application. And developers can easily debug a report logic using the IDE tools. For example, I can just put a breakpoint here in my delegate method, and I can easily find out what's going on when the data is loading by the report. The downside of the report is, of course, the inability to modify them at runtime by users. So this report here is read-only, execute-only, actually. To learn more about reports in general, please check out our new guide. It's here in basic topics, report generation guide. So it's in our documentation. It has a lot of useful information about runtime and design time reports. So, okay, let's now talk about our future plans. The next feature release is planned as usual in 4 months for February. And the most important task for us is to upgrade the underlying technology stack we will move to Spring Boot 4, Vaadin 25, and Eclipse Link 5. Also, Java 25 will be supported. If we manage to do it in time, the next release will be 3.0. So it will be a new major version. And the current 2.7 will become an LTS, long-term support release. Despite the new major version, we are not going to introduce any dramatic breaking changes. So the upgrade should be similar to a minor version, maybe with more breaking changes, but they will be easy to fix. Also, we should finish the SAML authentication add-on because we didn't manage to do it in October release. Another feature that we planned but couldn't deliver in October is data model visualization. So we'll finalize it in February as well. And in the core API, we are going to support facets in fragments. And speaking about our more distant plans for the next year, we are going to do some research for potential implementation of a dynamic model in Jmix application. If we succeed, it will allow you to extend the data model and UI of your applications at runtime. Something like current dynamic attributes, but more advanced, and without performance implications of entity attribute value storage model. Well, that's all from my side. Victor, thank you for attention.
For sharing the updates on the framework and the studio and the future plans. The future plans look really inspiring for me, especially the dynamic model. I think that all of you who are building digital products will find this very useful because this will definitely help you to deliver the functionality of growing the application data model to your users, without additional hassle on the development side. But we'll see how this will look like because still this is in let's say an R&D phase, but we see a lot of potential from this area. So we have some questions, guys, in the YouTube chat, and I want to share these questions with you. I will pass the question about the next Europe meeting by, so Alex will share details on that further. We have a question from Pascual. Pascual is asking whether the new menu, he means this user menu, whether it is responsive and how this can be rendered on mobile. Gleb, I suppose this is the question to you.
Yeah, sure. The short answer is yes, this user menu is responsive because it's based on Vaadin menu bar component. And on mobile, it will look like it will occupy the whole width of the screen. So, and when you go to the hierarchical menu, it will open not on site on it, but above on it, so like new. So, yes, it is responsive.
Thank you, Gleb. So the next question coming from Tom Manier. He's already more than 3 plus 5, 8 years with us. Well, and he's asking whether the dark variant part is a part of the framework. So the dark theme, this is the part of Lumo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the more correct name probably the dark variant rather than dark theme. It's a part of Vaadin's Lumo theme, and the dark preset was always the part of framework from Jmix 2.0. So
and we have an example in the documentation about that, how this can be implemented, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have an example how to implement custom theme switcher component by creating a web component and switching between two theme variants. We have a utility class for easily switching between theme presets, between light, dark, system, and stuff like that. And of course, in documentation, we have an example how to develop a drop-down component with these 3 presets. And with the introduction of user menu component, we created an action which does the same, switching between three presets, light, dark, and system. By system, I mean that your application will adapt to the current OS settings, like is it dark theme, is it light theme, and probably if you have night shift like me, it's light in the day hours and dark in the night hours, stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you for a very detailed answer. And I'd like to notify that our documentation became so large that you have a free AI assistant for your disposal. You can ask whenever you want using this AI assistant in Jmix and get the direct answer from their documentation, basically. So you can ask about that easily with the AI assistant UI. Accessible via Jmix Studio in the IDE, by the way, also. Okay, thank you very much, Gleb. The next question, I suppose, is also coming to you. This question is coming from Mitri. How to aggregate numeric columns in groups, for example, sum of age.
If you mean group rows, specific group rows, then for now I would say that you should use, for example, formatter to provide a custom text for these rows and do aggregation by yourself and provide values inside these rows. Probably we should think about it and provide a built-in feature, but it's also under discussion, should be under discussion.
I think that we need to provide a sample in the UI samples for that. I see that we have calculating of the number of rows, in the UI sample.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe we can, calculate an average, because this is quite a typical requirement by far.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Dmitry, for sharing your question. It's very important for us to understand what we're doing good, what's bad. Fine. I see good remarks about the rules, new rules tools in Studio, and the design time reports. Okay. So we go forward. Okay, and Mladen, hello, Mladen, is asking about the Vaadin Aura, Vaadin Aura theme. He asks whether it should be a default for the new Jmix application. What do you think, Gleb? Would it happen?
Since
I know that we will support it with Vaadin 25.
Since we are planning to upgrade to Vaadin 25, we also will get Aura theme, and we will have to update our UI components to support this new theme, because there are changes in the structure. And of course, you will be able to use it. And both light and dark presets, because, well, it was saying there are always been dark and light presets even in Luma theme. Yeah, so we definitely will.
And when I will initialize the default project with Jmix, let's say 3.0, should it be Aura by default or Luma still?
I don't know. Probably Aura, probably Luma. Probably we will provide a choice. I don't know. For now, I don't know. We need to adapt to this theme before we can discuss it, because the main change will be to migrate our UI components, because Vaadin changed client-side structure of UI components.
Okay, so we'll see. We need to investigate this a bit, and we'll inform then the community when we'll provide the Jmix 3.0 webinar release. Great. And the last question I see from Mladen is, do we need to switch to Java 21 in February? Konstantin, I think that is question to you.
Well, as far as I know, Spring Boot 4 doesn't require the upgrade of Java, so they still support Java 17. But Vaadin 25, again, as far as I know, requires Java 21. So in this case, you will have to upgrade your Java version. Yeah.
This is a requirement coming from Vaadin, so not from Spring Boot side. Okay. Thank you, Konstantin, for answering the question. I see one more question from Andreas. He asks, is there a plan for an add-on to send emails via Microsoft Graph API? Well, I don't even know what's that. Konstantin, maybe you have an answer on that.
Actually, in this version 2.7, we've implemented the new authentication method in email sending add-on, specifically to work with Google and Microsoft email SMTP email providers. So now it will cover the most difficult problem of sending emails through these providers. So at the moment, we were not going to implement sending emails through the Microsoft Graph API.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so I see a remark from Tom. Yeah, there is nothing new. Yeah, and the final message from Kunal. Thank you, Kunal, for supporting the Jmix community. It's great to get you here and you're in our webinar. So basically, I see no more questions here that are opened. I think that we tried to cover all of them. Yeah. That's all. I think that's all for today, basically. Yeah, I think that we tried our best to unveil the top hot topics which you can get by using Jmix 2.7. As returning to the words of Konstantin, this will become the LTS version, and the next one will be 3.0 in February, if everything will happen as expected. Yeah, and I want to tell twice that Konstantin mentioned we do not anticipate any very bad breaking changes, let's say, yeah, within the Jmix 3.0. And you will be able, yeah, Mladen, thank you for mentioning, you will be able to ask more questions within the office hours, what will happen in December. This will be the second office hours for this year. So prepare your questions, post it in the Slack channel, and we'll try to get prepared for your questions. And also fluent questions coming directly to the chat will be accepted. We'll also try to uncover some things which are not explained maybe on our public resources, in our messages or updates about the Jmix ecosystem. Yeah, so please don't forget to schedule the office hours event if you are using Jmix Hard in your daily operations, and we'll be glad to answer the questions maybe you get until that. Well, I think that's the end. I want to close our today's release announcement session. Thank you for coming. Thank you for using Jmix in your daily operations. Thank you for sending the feedback. You may see that we try our best to follow your feedback, the community feedback, when deciding what to do next in Jmix. Sometimes not all the feedback coming from the community, yeah, but we try to keep an eye on that. Yeah, and you should understand that we live right now in a very disruptive era. There are a lot of updates coming from the AI world, but our team tries to be pragmatic in this area and look at the features and capabilities which definitely bring value. I mean those features which are coming from the AI agentic tools, and hope that we'll bring the best of them to you starting from the next year, starting from the Jmix 3.0. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming once again, and hope to see you soon on our office hours event. That was great. See you next time. See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.